Get Warrior Tough. Mental Training 101 with Andrew Wittman and Dutch Coleman. And now back to Andrew and Dutch.
Are you stressed out? Ah! Stick with me, kid. All right. Want to join the conversation? Tell me how bad your stress is and how this sleep thing doesn't work. Call me at 855-856-1380. I'd love to have that conversation with you. Hashtag GetWarriorTough on Twitter. You can tweet me at WarriorToughPhD with all your nasty grams. Be nice to Dutch, though, at the Dutch Coleman, because he isn't being mean right now. But I'm doing it for your own good. Hate me on the back end. All right, so so if you don't get your sleep, your hormones are already out of whack. The second that your feet hit the ground, you have started your day out of whack. Your cognitive processing is down. You're slow, and your body is sending out hormones that are not helping you in any way to deal with the day. So you're behind the curve already. Then what do? Is you get up and you eat some greasy, nasty, whatever, or sugary thing for breakfast. And now what you do is you spike your insulin. Congratulations.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, it's I always use a sports analogy. It's like that guy who can score 30 points, but the guy he's guarding, he gives up 30 points.
So it's right.
And so you're back to square one. So you're doing all this exercising and you're eating horribly. So it's like, well, I mean, you're back to ground zero. You're back where you started.
We ain't even got to exercise yet. So you're just putting junk in your body. Okay. So now your hormones, you're not okay. And we teach. When I do training, when I do personal training, we also have a gladiator training for the mental side of this, and then we teach hormonal nutrition. It's hormonal nutrition because you could do all the calorie counting you want, all the macronutrients you want, and if you are fighting the hormones in your body and you're not lining them up right and manipulating them, deploying them in the direction to the target that you want, when you want it, you're working against your body, and no wonder you're a grouch. No wonder stress freaks you out. No wonder you're like a powder keg that you're, anger is about to go off at any second, walking on eggshells around you, and you feel like your life's out of control because your body's out of control. You haven't controlled. You don't have enough sleep, and now you're not eating right. So without those two things, let's not even talk about exercise, okay?
Well, what do people do when they leave the gym? A lot of times they go eat, they go to a sports bar, they go do things, they're eating and drinking and doing all kind of stuff. Like, man, you just did all that work and now you're
well. That's why I hear this all the time. That's why I work out so I can eat what I want.
Yeah. Hey, look.
Hey, you could do that, but it ain't helping you. So stress.
It's just as long as they're clear on their failures, then I'm okay with it.
Oh man.
Because that's exactly what they are. They're clear. They're clear on failures.
Yeah, right. And they're like proud of it, bragging. I mean, hey, that's a D+. They don't just give that out. Or Tommy, right? So you got to earn that, right? So then, okay, so you're not eating right. So then you decide, well, I'm going to go work out and relieve some stress, right? If you do, but chances are you're not. But for the odd person that actually would decide to go work out, do some exercise to relieve some stress. Because if you don't sleep right and you're not eating right, chances are you're not going to go do the workout thing, okay? But if you're one of those people, here's what working out does for stress. Yes, it does help you deal with stress. It gets your hormones. But what you're doing when you work out is you are actually stressing your body. You're putting your body under stress. It's controlled stress. It's like getting an inoculation shot. So when you go get the flu shot, Dutch, you know what's in the flu shot? Flu, right? So then your body that's why you feel like garbage the next couple days. Is that your body is going to work fighting off the flu, so you don't get the full deal. That's what working out is. That's what exercise is. You are giving your body an inoculation against stress. So this is what happens when you stress out. So I'm doing my workout. I work out really hard. I'm sweating. My heart rate's up. It's all these physiological things that happen when you're under stress. And then the hormones dump, right? And then my body's all stressed out. And then as I recover, right, I get the endorphins. I feel good. Oh, that's so awesome. To recover, though, I have to eat right and replenish my body with the correct nutrition, and then I have to rest. If you don't rest, you're not going to your body's not going to repair. So people do that. So you're not sleeping right, you're not eating right, you go work out. Then you do that again. Then you do that again. Then you wonder why you're sore and you're broke down. So what happens when the body gets sore and it doesn't recover, Dutch? It releases this hormone called ACTH. ACTH blocks endorphins. That's its whole goal in life. And you know what endorphins do? They make you feel what? Good. So now the thing that you want to do is feel good under stress. You can't because your body isn't now this acute pain turns into chronic pain, and it's a downward spiral, right? That's why we don't overtrain. That's why injuries and all that stuff, and that's why a lot of people, they don't do the other parts, and then they go work out, and then they're sore, and they're like, the second day soreness is the worst, and so they're not going back to the gym, and now we're back out of the cycle completely because the ACTH and the hormones, you just feel so bad that you never get to the point where you're using the inoculation. It just knocks you out. So that's the cycle. That's how the body works. It's hormonal. It's symbiotic. You have to start with sleep, and then you have to have the proper nutrition, and then you work out. And that's how you handle stress from the physiological side of things. And you know what? Your emotions will be a lot more even-keeled. You'll solve problems better. Your cognitive processing will go up, and your life will be way more fantastic because you'll be like me, where stress is your energizer, and you can't get enough of it, and it's never negative.
And it's even simpler than you made it just sound. I mean, it is really that simple. You know, anytime, because you're making it more complex when you're doing all these other things that the average-minded person does. That the average person walking around, the myths that they believe and that they buy into are making things more complex for their mind, their body, and everything. It's life is becoming more difficult because of the things that are more popular beliefs in our society. We have got to get out of that. We've got to separate ourselves from average and work on being the best. It's going to make everything about your life better.
And we know what to do. That's the sad part. I mean, if I tell anybody, you know, are you getting enough sleep? You already know if you are or not. You always tell me, yeah, no, I'm not sleeping good, or no, I didn't get enough sleep, or I need to get more rest. Well, then get more rest. If that's coming out of your mouth, or have people like this, I was on a trip, man. I was with a guy, and he's like, yeah, man, I put on 30 pounds since I've been doing all this traveling. Yep, I just need to, I need to lose some of this weight. It's just the traveling. And then he reached and grabbed like a handful of Thin Mint Oreos, and just a handful of them, threw them in his mouth. And I was like, what? Dude, it just came out of your mouth, and then you just like not even take a breath, and you're putting that other stuff back in your mouth. People already know. It's not like you don't know. It's that you don't do. Now, if you want to lie to yourself and act like because you went to, whatever the latest craze, Taibo, kickboxing, jazzercise, whatever, Pilates, whatever, yoga ain't exercise, by the way.
You better watch it.
It's not. It's great for mindfulness. That's another piece of stress control. But don't act like you worked out because you did yoga. You didn't. All right. So, anyway, I know, right? Tweet me. It's at warriortough.com. I know. I'm all cranked up tonight because when people get all this disinformation and they wanna hold on to their truth, and that's cool. You can hold on to your truth, but it's like they act like they don't want to be confused with the facts. And then you wonder why your life isn't getting any better, though. Why you can't handle stress any better, and why you can't, look better in that, swimsuit season. I can't figure out what I'm doing. Yeah, you can. It's not that hard. You're just not doing what you know to do, or when you find out what to know, you're like, well, that, and you just dismiss it. So, and we run into this stress stuff all the time, Dutch. Remember, let's just put folks in remembrance of the stress, numbers. 80% of all healthcare visits and costs come from what?
Stress.
Stress-related disorders, right? 50% of all deaths in the U.S. are caused by shark attacks. No, heart attacks, not shark attacks. And heart attacks are caused by stress, right?
I love it. Yeah,
I know. I just make see everybody's awake. I told you I was cranked up, Dutch. I told you I was, man. And I'll tell you, this whole thing got me. I don't say it's hard to get me cranked up, but when people people put stuff out there that damages other people, and then we just spoon feed it up like it's good sugar candy, yummy. Oh yeah, and it's hurting us. That kind of sets me off because you're damaging people's lives by putting disinformation out there.
And I'm telling you, it's not hard. It's not hard to push people over the edge because these are already widely held beliefs. And so people are getting all kind of confirmation when everyone's continuing conversations in these myths. And so people are getting pushed right into those areas, and you hear people confirming it to one another, and they're just complete lies. This is not the truth. And we deal, and it's not a fact, as I should say, because it's definitely a bunch of people's truths.
Yeah.
And we deal in facts, and you have got to get in that area. Now, the good thing about facts is you don't have to do whatever it is just because it's a fact. But it's great when you're aware of the facts, because I like to make decisions based on facts. So again, we're not telling you what to do. We're here to make you aware of what's factual and what's not, and then you can do with that information as you please. So don't get mad at us, and don't even get mad at the facts.
No, right. They are what they are. That's like getting mad at the sun for coming up in the east, right? So, no,
Absolutely.
seriously. I mean, and like you said earlier, as long as they're clear, that's just an epic fail. I mean, you could, as long as you're clear, right, then, but don't complain about stress. Don't complain about your job. Don't complain about your life, because the stuff that you can control, like I just gave you, sleeping, eating, and exercise, you own all of those. That ain't the boss. That's not the, the economy. That's not the government regulation. That ain't the taxes. That's not the, the coworker. That's not the neighbor. You own those. And those are the 3 keystones to taking care of managing, controlling, and making stress positive in your life. You own them. Nobody else does. You do.
Absolutely.
You see, I told you I was cranked up, man.
And I tell you, when we get past ourselves and us wanting what we believe to be true, once we get past all that, then we can begin to progress. Because, a lot of people get mad because what they believe wasn't real. I mean, I don't get mad at that. I get happy when I find out something I believe wasn't real, because I felt like I just got smarter. I felt like I've just made myself better in some way, because now I know what's really going on. And people get upset because what they believe turned out to not be true. Shouldn't we be excited when you find out what the truth is, what the facts are? I mean, shouldn't we all be excited because now we're smarter, regardless of what we believed before? I now know what's real, and I'm good for that.
Right, and I can make a course correction, and it could get better.
Absolutely.
But no, people would rather just live the lie, man. They love delusional thinking. They love it, and that's the average-minded mindset. When we get back from the break, Dutch, I want to kind of talk a little bit about mindsets a little bit, because that came up in some of my interviews this week, and I think it's an interesting topic to hit the mindsets, and we'll just lay out our mindsets, if you will, and then we'll talk about, because here's the question, just to tease it, is how do you find out what mindset you do have? That's a great question that came in this week, is how do you find out? So you're listening to the Get Warrior Tough radio show with Andrew Wittman and the Dutch Coleman, and I am going to calm down and take some deep breathing and do some yoga during the break.